Well, reach way back in that closet, pull out that old Hawaiian shirt, pair of blue jean shorts, and put REO Speedwagon in the tape deck. We're working on a 79 Plymouth Duster. Well, look what's wandered into the shop today. 1979 Plymouth Duster. Overall, looks like in pretty good shape. Been stored in a pole barn for many years, possibly a decade. It's got the Super 6 with a missing valve cover and rocker arm assemblies. Extra rail here, as the other one's laying in the trunk. Story is, it was an oil burner. The owner they bought this from was going to attempt to put valve seals in. Got it that far apart, said nope, shut the hood and looked the other way and thought the car ferries would break in and fix it for him. So he sold it. It's actually in really nice shape, and if we can get it running and put valve seals in it and see what else it needs, then I think you're going to have a pretty fun little car here. Interior is pretty darn nice. Doesn't smell real mousy. So all these dryer sheets in here must have done their job. So we'll do a series of videos that of what it takes to slowly wake this car up without doing a lot of damage, because hopefully we can do all the maintenance stuff to it, clean up the fuel system, and lastly we'll get it to go, and then we'll worry about the whoa. So stay tuned, we'll have some more videos, and we'll take you along for the ride. Be sure to like and subscribe, and that really helps. Comment, whether it's good or bad, don't care. Chrysler fan or not, don't care. But we'll take you along. All right, thanks. Hey there, folks, and welcome back to Solar City Garage. Let's get started with some preliminary stuff here on our 79 Plymouth Duster. Just kind of take an overview of what we've got going. You know, with all these revival videos and will it make it home and blah, blah, blah. We're not going to be kind of that careless with this thing. We're going to just sneak up on it and not create a lot more work for ourselves, and we certainly don't want to destroy this motor. I know the first thing everybody wants to do is throw a battery in there, hit the key, and see if she turns over. Well, that's fine, but you got to think a minute. One, is it stuck? Are you going to hurt the starter? You're going to break the rings. The other thing is, I would imagine the fuel in this thing doesn't even resemble gasoline anymore. And what's in the bottom of the tank is probably really nasty. And this has a mechanical fuel pump. Well, you turn the engine over, it's going to shove more crap in the carburetor than what's already there. So we're not going to turn it over, not with the starter yet. First thing we're going to do, does it have oil? Let's pull out the stick here. Yep, she's got oil. She's black, but she's got oil. Right on the full mark. Antifreeze. Nothing you can see in the tank, but the radiator cap is wet. So it's got enough to slosh around in here, probably when they hauled it down. That's a good sign. This has V-belts and a non-dynamic fan. So let's just grab the fan and see if it turns over. It's an automatic, so it's not in gear. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she turns over. You can hear compression. Of course, all the valves are shut, so everything's got compression right now. Next thing I like to do is just do a general look-see. There's not a lot of mouse stuff going on here. Of course, with the valve cover off, there's stuff in there that shouldn't be, but we'll take and we're just going to blow that out. I know it's going to push some through and a lot of it will come out, but it is what it is right now. It just needs to get out of there, whether it goes down, because we're going to drain the oil anyway. But it's good to do that before you drain the oil so it has something to carry it on through. Let's take this air cleaner off here too. Oh yeah. Wonderful vacuum hoses of the late 70s and 80s. All right. Well, there's a carburetor there. Got some, speaking of vacuum hoses, some sketchy looking rock hard hoses. Hold on, I gotta get the phone. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. It does have a big fuel filter in it, which is good. All these hoses are gonna have to be replaced or eliminated. Some of them we won't talk about that right now. But I think the next thing I'm gonna do is blow all this off, and I think I'm gonna unhook the fuel line from the fuel pump so that when we do turn it over, we don't forget and suck a bunch of that stuff out. So I'll get those things done, and I'll be back. Okay, we're back. Well, I did blow the schmutz off the engine around the carburetor. I just kind of blew off the whole engine compartment. I know, the valve cover's open, but it was already full of dust and dirt, so we didn't contribute anything more than what was already there. As you can see, there's an extra rocker arm rail there, which later on I'll show you, which I imagine why they had an extra one. I'll show you why that comes in handy for doing the valve seals. And I also, if you can see down in there, unhook the fuel line so we don't forget it. Because 9 out of 10 chances that pump is bad anyway, but we just don't want to make our job any harder. So now that we've kind of given this an assessment, and we think there's some hope here, the next thing we had to do was let's get the parts ordered, because this stuff probably is not available just overnight. So let's get the general stuff we're going to need to see if it runs. We have all the stuff here. We can just go ahead and do it, and then we'll know. Sometimes when you start and stop, and then wait a week for parts through the postal service, gets discouraging. So I'll show you what we ordered. Hang on. Okay, folks, we're back. Okay, so we've done some shopping. Something I was a little surprised by, and I know I probably shouldn't be, was the fact that the auto parts stores don't show much for a Slant 6. I was surprised. I figured your general maintenance tune-up items would be a day or two. Not the case. So we found all this stuff at Rock Auto, and it did take them a few days to get here, but they did it, and they had what we needed, and the prices, of course, were comparable. So what did we order? Well, we know that we needed valve seals, so we ordered intake and exhaust valve seals. Of course, we knew that the valve cover gasket was toast, so that'll get the valve cover and the valve seals back on. We ordered a set of spark plugs for it, and then we ordered a set of ignition wires. I ordered an ignition module, because I don't know if anybody caught in the video, but all the goo has ran out of the back of the ignition module, which usually means it's been hot. Somebody could have left the key on, coil could be going bad, resistor block could be going bad. Anyway, when the goo's gone, that's not good. So we just ordered one. I also ordered a new coil, because they're cheap, okay? And if we need it, we need it. If not, we can send it back. Also got a distributor cap and a rotor. And then I also ordered a carburetor kit. it's going to need to come apart and be cleaned. Why not have what you need? These are cheap. All these parts essentially are dirt cheap compared to the stuff today. Also, when we get a little farther, I ordered a mechanical fuel pump just to help save on some time. So we've got enough to get the engine back together mechanically. We've got enough to put the ignition together. The distributor cap and wires are laying in the trunk full of dirt. They're cheap. We're not going to take the time to clean that crap up. So we've got enough to get the engine together. We've got enough to get the fuel together, and we got enough to get the ignition together. All that much, she should run on a small tank of fuel. We're just going to not hook up the fuel system yet. We'll put the fuel pump on, put the hose up and into a can. All right, there's our shopping. I guess it's time to get to work. And we're back. We've got a little bit of work done here. We've removed the alternator, left the wires on, just put it up here. We took off the very hard and crusty heater hoses. We took off the alternator bracket and the coil so we could get to the fuel pump. We got it taken off. We pulled the spark plugs out. We rinsed out the head after we blew it out with compressed air. We rinsed it out with brake clean. Tried to flush a lot of the stuff down through the lifter holes. We blew out each lifter hole, and then we sprayed it with WD-40 so it could kind of start to soak some more on this crusty oil stuff. As a kid in the shop, this is the stuff I started out working on, and all of a sudden flashbacks of why I hate engineers started at a very, very young age as far as automotive engineers. The way they have everything stuffed down in this corner with the coil under the alternator behind the bracket, it's just mind-boggling why it wasn't right here on the fender. But anyway, they were screwing things up since day one. So the next thing we're going to do is roll the motor over. We're going to put a little oil down the cylinders, and then we're going to work on doing the valve seals. We might as well get that done with, and we can put the new fuel pump on, new coil, and get that much all back together. And then we'll start on the fuel system as far as carburetor and stuff. So it's gaining, and so far, no surprises. All right, stay tuned. Bye. Well, folks, as you can see, this Plymouth Duster made it outside under its own power. A lot of work has went on. Honestly, just wasn't time to film, but let's give you a rundown so you know what to expect when you find one sitting in the shed. Let's get the hood open. All right, guess my big physique is in the sun there. As you can see, the engine's all back together. We have went on 3 successful test drives. It took a lot of tinkering to get this thing to wake up. So to go over what we did, we put valve seals in it. We had to clean the engine out several times because it had sat in the shed without a valve cover. There was a lot of dirt in the engine, so we flushed it out the best we could. So we got new valve seals, new set of plugs, wires, cap and rotor. The ignition coil was bad. The ignition module was bad. It had ran all the goodness out of it. We put a new battery in it, a new fuel pump, rebuilt the carburetor. I already had a fuel filter down there. I relocated the fuel line up here and put a pre-pump filter on it because we flushed out the fuel tank multiple times. Seems to be okay. This will be the telltale. When stuff gets in there, at least it won't suck it into the pump. This one over here is the second guard for the carburetor. I left some tinkering for the customer to do. This was a father-son project, so they're going to do, you know, belts and hoses and battery hold down and go through the lights, which I think most of them work, but and then give the thing a very, very good cleaning, because it needs it. But anyway, the engine sounds good. Let's reach in and see if we can start it up. Oh boy. Here we go. As you can see, it starts up pretty good. What you see here is a leaking exhaust manifold. Valve drain is 100% quiet. Here you have it. You can live another day. Some of these cars that are sitting in barns, you might think, well, it doesn't take much to get them going. Well, it does. If you can do it all yourself and save a little money, but if you pay a shop to do it, expect to pay them for their time. They could easily be doing brake jobs and oil changes and stuff and make a lot easier money, but they have to love what they're doing too. So don't be afraid to buy that car that's been sitting. Just wake them up really slow. Be patient. It'll pay off in the end. Alright, thanks for watching.